warm welcome to Stavanger in Norway. We're live from the supermarket arena for 2013 the Gruyère European Curling Championships. See some nice pictures of the old town here. And this is the Sumarka Arena. And this is round 2 of the men's competition. Our featured game will be between Norway and France. Norway currently on 1 win and 0 losses, and France losing their first encounter. So it looks like we're just making our final arrangements before we get this second game underway. That's Håvard Vad Petersson. Long-term lead for Thomas Ulsrud. And one of the much fancied teams this week, Norway, with the home crowd support. So here is the team lineups. At lead, Håvard Vad Petersson, as just pictured. The character of the team, Christopher Sva at second. Torger Nørgaard playing third. And skip Thomas Ulsrud completing the familiar lineup. And a new lineup for France. Frédéric Boutoudan playing lead. Rodolphe Vincent playing second. Guillaume Vincent playing third. And here's the skip. Geoffrey Vincent with Tom Beran playing as the alternate, and Alan Contact the coach. Here's the standings after draw 1. Denmark, Norway, Russia, Switzerland and Sweden all victorious this morning. And we won't count these teams out quite yet. A long way still to go this week. So looks like we're ready to go here in draw 2. My name's Logan Gray and I'm joined by Richard Harding. Who's your pick for this matchup, Richard?
Well, it has to be Norway, I think. They have been in many European and World Championships, and this is the first time outing for these young Frenchmen. So I think they're up against it tonight.
Yeah, Norway are going to play in the red stones and France playing at the yellows. The two teams did draw for hammer in the first end, and Thomas Ulsrud pulling out a perfect pin draw, 0 centimetres to take the hammer here in the first end. Yeah, of course, a lot of success for this Norwegian team. Here's Håvard Vad Petersson. Yeah, they've made the final in the last 3 European Championships, with back-to-back golds in 2010 and 11. And of course the silver last year, losing out to Nicolas Sedin in his hometown of Karlstad. And Vad Petersson making a nice start to this second round matchup. Here we get our first look at Frédéric Boutoudan. Trying to make a freeze on this stone at the top of the 8-foot circle. Frédéric, 24 years old. See, it has down here that one of his other sports is rugby. Saw a bit of an unusual warm-up going on earlier with the French team, Richard. Don't see many curling teams warming up with a rugby ball. We had an incident in my team once where we were warming up with American football, and one of my players, who shall remain nameless, broke one of his fingers just before a final. So maybe advise against that one. Stick to football. Okay, so a really good start to the game for the Norwegian lead. Perfectly splits the rings to lie 2. And France not wanting to give up a big score early in the game here. Here's Rodolphe Vincent. He's the youngest of the 3 Vincent brothers, despite having the least hair.
Perhaps it's a worry with what's going to happen after he's finished playing.
Well, we'll find out, Richard. So
we will. Norway certainly off to a good start.
Yeah, we have to admit that we don't know a tremendous about this French team, Richard, do we?
Well, it's the first time they've played internationally, other than at the Junior Challenge.
Yeah, they had a few runs at the Junior Challenge,
but they actually never made it to the Junior Championships.
No, I see they lost the final to Finland one year. That was about their best performance. Never quite making it up into the World Championships. So they'll be trying to make a big hit and roll here behind the stones in the centre line just to change things up a bit, but over curls and rolls out of the rings. And we'll see Norway just once again trying to put that stone back in exactly the same spot.
And in terms of European Championships already played before this week, Christopher Sva and Havard van Pedersen have played 6 and 7 times, and Torgeir Nergard 13 and Ulfrud 11.
Yeah, impressive numbers. And as we said, this is the first time for any of this French team. Of course, I think Torgeir maybe just sneaked an extra couple of years as alternate for Paul Trulsen back in the glory years for Paul, around the time they were winning Olympic gold in 2002. Here's Guillaume Vincent going for this hit in the wing. They've not managed to make the hit and stick in shot position yet. And it looks like we'll need to wait a little longer yet. I always think when you're playing, Richard, that it's nice to get some draws in the first end just to give a little chance to get a feel for the ice. There's Torgeir Nergard, 38-year-old. Especially when you've got the first practice, you never know exactly how the ice is going to be running in the first end. Of course, not just for the throwers either, it's the sweepers as well, getting to know how the stones are going to run, and they'll be able to judge the stones much better as the game goes on. Okay, so trying this hit and stick once again. Oh, it's a big mistake for France.
Never very good to take your own stone out.
So France suffered a huge loss this morning against the Swiss. Maybe some nerves, losing at 13 shots to 3. How important is it for them to make a good start in this game, Richard?
Well, it's going to be tough. I think the shot they were just trying there was quite a hard one to make. Might be better just trying a draw behind, or even tapping that one that you can just see back, one on the left. Because they're in trouble as it is already in this end. Norway have last stone advantage.
Linje er fin, bare hold ute der. Linje er grei. Linje er bra. Det er ganske langt ute, gutter. Det kommer ikke til å bli godt bra. Hvite 8 her, full 8. Dytter og tørr. Hard. Hvis det ikke er lang da. Den rekker. Du får ikke...
So they were trying to put that to the back of the 8-foot circle, but it comes up a little bit short and perhaps gives the French out here to try and hit and roll behind these centre stones.
Well, it's all about making the shots, and this shot after, well, that stone from Norway was not a good result. It's a bit of a gift for the opposition, but I'm not sure. We're just about to see whether Geoffrey Vincent can make anything of it.
Yeah, certainly still a good shot required here. Vincent only curled for 10 years. That's actually a pretty good shot there. That'll outcount the white stone, and maybe could be the one that reduces Norway to 2 in this end at least.
Well, yes, but I mean the shot obviously was a hit and roll to the left behind the guards, and that was what he was trying to do, so he was pretty wayward from that.
So Team Norway looking at this same draw out to the wing. Should know it pretty well by now. The only varying factor right now is who's actually throwing the stone, and just slightly adapting where you need to put the brush depending on how the player throws.
I think he's looking at just a little tap on the yellow to push it across and end up line 3.
Yeah, it's possible, Richard. I don't think they'll be going all out for it. I think there'll be much content just to throw another one into the 8-foot, but if it does overcurl a little bit, that option's definitely there.
Ingen linje! Ingen linje! Kan du vente? Nei!
Supers don't think it's light at the moment anyway. Well, maybe you're going to get this chip, Richard. Is it enough to lie 3? Maybe not quite. Nice effort though by the Norwegian skip, Thomas Ulsrud.
Midt imellom suppadesaren.
Yeah, so maybe it was just in the back of his mind a little bit.
I think so. So now what? The hit and roll to the left behind the cover is really the shot to play here.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't want to hit this one high. If it's wide at all here, then he could maybe even bring 4 into play. So a really big mistake there by Vincent.
That was really a horrible shot.
Yeah, and here's Thomas Ulsrud. He's going to throw the same draw again, sticking to the track that he knows.
I
think that yellow stone before Geoffrey Vincent moved it was second shot still.
Yeah, that was really a gift for the Norwegians, getting that yellow moved. And now they just need to draw the 8-foot circle to get off to a flying start here, the Norwegians. Final stone of the first end, Thomas Hulsrud.
Linja er grei. Vi er tight om noe. Vi er litt tighte. 7-8. Hvor vi må. Nei, vi må ikke. Vi må sette seg mye nå. Det er mye nå.
Super seem pretty happy. They're just going to let this one come down onto the backing. And a great start for Norway. 3 reds and a 3-shot lead. One end played here, and it's Norway 3, France 0.
So a great start for Norway. 3 in the first end. And Havard with Peterson throwing the first stone in end number 2.
Kommer inn nå.
And into the house it goes. They have no need to play short.
Yeah, that one just drifts back at the tee line. Not exactly what Norway would have wanted. And we're going to see France use some corner guards. It's a really impressive venue, this Sumarka Arena in Stavanger. It has a 400-meter speed skating rink, an ice hockey rink, 7 curling rinks, and a penguin rink for beginners. I've seen a lot of penguins kicking about, these little skating aids for beginners. There's also a 17-meter climbing wall, and Richard, I see there's 4,000 seats for spectators. Do you think we'll need them this week?
Well, you never know. If Norway get to the final, it could be a busy place. And they've every prospect of doing that, I think.
Yeah, well, they're 3 for 3 for the last 3 years. And a big mistake there by the French, throwing their corner guard into the rings.
Clean, eller? Clean. Ja, det blir en slags midt imellom her nå. Over. Så litt mer utfordring.
So hits and sticks around. And France are going to try for this corner guard once again. So they are taking a lot of ice here, but I'm pretty sure they are throwing the corner guard.
Oh, vitesse. Oh, ligne large. Oh. Seulement vitesse, ligne large. Ouais, amène-la un pouce. Ouais. Un pouce, les gars, ouais. Ouais, fort, les gars, fort.
No, that's what they should be doing, but that isn't what they are doing, Logan, I'm afraid.
Ouais. Allez, fort.
Certainly the initial shout from Vincent Joffrey was that he wanted a corner guard, but maybe he changed his mind, I'm not sure. Hulsrud isn't going to entertain it anyway, and is just going to ask Christopher Sva to use his big weight peels to remove that yellow and roll his shooter away. So maybe something that might be of some use for France. Okay, so another corner guard attempt here, Rodolphe Vincent. Much better positioning this time. So, and actually quite a difficult one to peel, this one. A lot of red debris lying about which could just catch this Yellowstone, so Thomas Ulsrud just trying to weigh up the best option to get that Yellowstone off. I see in the background Mr. Ramsfell watching on.
For those that don't know who he is, who's he?
Very good Norwegian curler.
From 100 years ago.
100 years ago, before my turn, Richard. I'm hoping you might tell everyone.
Well, it certainly was a fantastic player, Eigil Ramsfell.
Yeah, I'm sure you had some exchanges with him in the past, did you?
I played him once or twice, yeah. In the old days.
Yeah, I know. What's his role these days, Richard?
Well, I don't know. He's. I think he's involved with the juniors a bit. Hard though it may be for you to imagine, he was once a tennis partner of mine. And we won.
Tremendous. Who was the opposition? Borg and McEnroe?
No.
Yep.
No. Anyway.
Clean, bare. Ja, for clean. Ja, den så clean som sånn.
Well, out it goes. Norway light 2 again. No danger. Both the stones in the back ring.
Den her inte bra.
And Geoffrey Vincent and his team are up against it here. Yeah, I think that's all you can do. Put out another guard. Hope you're going to get a miss from Charger Nergard or Thomas Ulsrud. But they don't miss very many.
That's a big effort from the sweepers to just get this one over the hog line. They're not going to get this one over.
That's a bad shot.
Butudan hangs his head in disappointment there. I think Guillaume can quite believe his eyes. Didn't really expect to see a miss like that at this level.
Oh, that's very poor. Torger. Thomas Ulsrud just deciding to pile the stones into the house.
So I'm sure the French.
I think they look a bit nervous, to be honest.
Ja, han lå liksom på treff hele veien, men...
Ja, men det forskjellen på når det sånn strøyspill, ikke sant? Det var samme som
Well, they're still going for the the multiple score here in the second end. Gonna try and make this freeze to that white-red. Could very well just take the option to try and get out of this one, the blank, and try and do a better job of using the free guard zone in the next end. Still has plenty of time left in the game. Pretty good attempt, but it over curls. They really need to make sure they're on the inside of that one.
Yeah, that was important.
So it should be a straightforward takeout here for Norway.
Not giving a lot of ice, so I think the weight will be fairly firm. Don't think Thomas Ulsrud will mind at all if the back one goes as well. And so the Norwegian skip at the second end. His first shot here.
Yeah, that was about all that was required there. And just while Van Song's lining up his first draw here in the second end, we're going to flick over to Switzerland and Sweden. Here's Sven Michael with his final stone of the second end, playing against reigning world champions Sweden, skipped by Niklas Edin. That's Trollier and Gempler down with the brushes here. Needs to make a hit and stick against 4 and gets the job done. Score of 1 for Switzerland in the second end, and 2 ends played there. Switzerland 1, Sweden 1. Meanwhile, next story, here's Geoffrey going for the freeze. Just let the last one over curl a little bit, so looking pretty good here though.
They do swing quite a lot at the end.
Same mistake really, Richard. They could have used the brushes there to hold that on the inside.
So same shot for Ulsrud. Well, that was a clever shot to play. He's taken the 2 out, his own one and the French stone, and rolled his shooter across to the other side, providing Geoffrey with a different direction to curl down for his critical last stone here in the second end. 3-0 Norway lead. This is a great shot. Moves both of these out, rolls his shooter across to lie first, second and third shots here.
Do you think the nerves will be going at all here, Richard, after a poor game this morning and a poor start to this one?
I certainly do. And he has to make this shot. To even stay in this game. And to me it looks wide and heavy.
That looks like a steal of 2 to me.
I mean, it was the wrong line he went for. He had to go for the stone. If he was going to come and tap one, it had to be the one that was lying first shot.
Yeah.
So strategically found wanting.
Là, ça va mal.
Norway now 5-0 after 2 ends.
Hvor mange omganger er spilleren? Prøv som skjedde. Fin legge på faktisk. Og her er 5. Hæ? 5.
Si on vient comme ça, t'es long, je fais balayer tout le long, comme ça le boulot, tu restes au boulot.
Ganske bra, da. Vi har ikke bomma, så hvis jeg fortsetter med det, så er det bra. Det begynte å bli litt bedre splitte eller hogg-hogg-tider nå. Ikke at jeg skal slå av meg.
So at the start of end 3, Norway have a healthy 5-0 lead over France. And the young French team are proving to be easy pickings for Thomas Ulsrud and his Norwegian teammate.
Yeah, I think there's a real gulf in class in this game. It's been very evident. The first 2 ends here, you've got Thomas Ulsrud and his Norwegian side, who've really been a force to be reckoned with at international championships over the last 8 or so years. And we've got first timers at an international championship at senior level. And I think also just the lack of experience probably comes from playing week in, week out on the World Curling Tour as well, Richard. I was told earlier on that the French team were keen to play a lot on the World Curling Tour this season to try and prepare for this event, and they really struggled to get into the competitions. They weren't really recognised as the French national team. Of course, you'd usually see Thomas Dufour out here playing in the international championships for France, but the Vincent Rink pulled off the upset last year and earned their right to be here, but just not able to get that experience playing against the top teams like Ulsrud week in, week out on the World Curling Tour is going to make a massive difference. I believe this French team's played maybe 4 times this year, just in some kind of small tournaments in Switzerland and in France, and they practice in a one-sheeter ice rink in Stavanger in France, which maybe don't provide the best ice conditions, the kind of conditions you would expect to find at international championships. And often if they do want to find those conditions, they would go to Geneva, but of course Geneva, the curling rink's out of action there with the introduction of a new rink on the way, but it's not quite ready to go, so they're just not getting the opportunity to train quite as much as they would like, and certainly not getting to play against the level of opposition that they would need to be able to compete at this level.
Følg leggen. Altså.
So Christopher Sva clearing off the guard. A shot he's pretty adept at.
Vitesse. Joli. Vitesse. Joli. 3 même. Ouais.
Oh, I think we were going for a corner guard there.
Well, I don't know what we were going for there, but that certainly wasn't very good. Ulsrud electing just to hit that out.
Yeah, I don't think they'll want to stick around here. Well, they have done. I think they were wanting to hit and roll out though.
I think they're a bit too concerned about it. Rolling in behind the cover doesn't provide much danger for them. So Norway again dominant in the third end, flying 3 shots here, leading by 5. Rodolphe Vincent, second player for France.
So a nice little nest to come down onto here. They could just bump this stone on the other side of the centre line from where the yellow is right now. Oh, and a really nice touch there by Butudan. Oh, my apologies, that was Rodolphe.
Yeah, pretty good result that time.
Well, the team want to peel the corner. I think this is absolutely the right call from the team. This is definitely the danger stone for Norway, certainly the stone that France can put to best use. And any play that the French do make on that yellow stone at the top at the front of the house is going to leave their yellow stones really close together and leave potential double takeout. So
So they've got that yellow stone in the front of the house. What are they going to do with it?
well, not a lot at the moment. I don't think they'll want to ignore that. There's so much curl on the ice here that they can actually use those stones at the front of the T-line as guards. Just try and swing one right in round the back.
Well, but they're not in. They're pretty close to the T-line. To be accurate on the weight here.
Absolutely, Richard, but even if they could get one kind of the back of the 8 foot here and then behind cover, it's going to be an absolute nuisance value, and they don't have to be lying shot at this stage of the end, they need to be lying shot at the end of the game. So actually improves things a little bit, makes that freeze just that little bit better.
Kjapp på, går bra. Ja, kjapp blir en jævlig sofa her. Prøv å få litt innside da, med pil. Pil. Køller så mye. Jeg var litt inne, men kølte mye også. Tror ikke du køller så mye her, Torger? Ren.
Bumpy delivery there from Torger Nergård.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of shakiness coming out there.
Good shot though.
Okay, so Norway lying 3 now in this third end. And I think France are going to have to start thinking about moving things around.
Well, the problem now is they don't have any way in to the 4 foot circle.
Well, this is live from just next door to the third end of Sweden and Switzerland. Sweden already lying 1 and needs to find the edge of the 1 foot to score 2. Sweepers think it's pretty close. Just sneaks past. Super draw from Niklas Edin, reigning European and world champion. shows his class and draws for 2 in the third end. 3 ends played, Sweden 3, Switzerland 1.
Même pas celle. Dolly, il y a un côté de jaune. J'ai collé dans les ronds. J'étais en 3 là. Non, j'ai 80. En haut, 90. Ouais, c'est ça la vitesse, hein. Ouais, c'est ça, ouais. Vitesse 3 j'avais 69, 3 4 3.
This stone isn't blessed with handle.
3 4
Very much just veering down the ice.
Well, fortunately for them, it didn't lose the handle completely.
Well, Norway lying 3 at the moment. Not too sure about that call from the French there. I think that was maybe a time to be playing a takeout. They've got a lot of red granite to move now and not a lot of stones to do it. Norway currently lying 3.
Ligger ikke låsen her greit da? Låsene ligger egentlig ganske bra. Eller hvis vi drar rundt der, så slår den på dette her da. Vi kan jo fryse her.
Well, the problem for the French as well is if they do hit one of their own stones on the front, they're still not going to lie first shot, because the first shot is obviously going to be the one on the right as we look at it for Norway.
Yeah, they'll actually be doing well to lie second shot as well, Richard, so that's also an issue for them.
And I think Ulsrud is hatching up a plan to engineer another steal here.
Jeg tror vi skal gjøre noe med det der, det ser greit ut.
If he can just come into that little nest between the yellow and the red on the right and lie in the middle of that, that makes life very, very tough indeed although that is not what he's trying.
No, I think he's going to try and hook one around the wide side.
Looks like it, yeah.
And lie 4. And then they've only got 2 stones to remove 4 red counters, so a lot of work to do.
But he will have left hit and roll on the left hand of these red stones, although it needs to be accurate. But if Geoffrey were to just hit and roll,
well, I think that
he could lie first shot.
Yeah. I think that what Ulsrud's thinking here is that if he draws another one into the 8 foot and they do play that hit on the front stone, then chances are that Norway are still going to be lying 2, maybe even 3. So, as I say, I don't think that was quite the right call from the French there. I think they really needed to move some red granite around.
Linja bra. Vær med. 6. Vær med. 6.
Okay, so a nice shot there by Ulsrud. Really got that 4 foot surrounded now.
But there is a chance.
Utenfor der hvor du var også, vet du.
Det er omtrent samme linja som jeg hadde, tror jeg.
Chance here for the French, though. I think they can.
Er det nå når han kommer ut av timeout, de spør hva han skal gjøre? Det er redde.
Well, I think we've had a cry for help here, Richard.
Hit that well, yeah, I think so. But I think they can hit the red stone on the right, on the inside, and roll across to lie first shot. Don't know why they're not looking at that. They're looking at something else. That one. One on the right. Hit the inside of that, roll. No, don't think so.
Maybe. I think they're up a creek without a paddle right here.
Well, I think that's their only shot.
So they're contacting Alan Contat to see if he has any answers for this situation.
Tu joues quoi? Tu tires tout de suite ou pas? Les 2 jaunes? L'ensemble des 2 jaunes? Clearing? Tu tires tout de suite le clearing, on voit ce que ça fait? Clearing tout de suite, les gars. Allez.
Ouais, mais pour tout enlever ou pour en enlever qu'une partie?
On n'enlèvera jamais tout, mon poule.
Non, mais pour enlever là et enlever que ces 2-là ou enlever les 4?
Can't understand why they don't play the shot. I'm suggesting,
Il n'a pas besoin d'être curé, un 12 c'est
even if you hit it on the inside and you don't lie first shot, you've got a chance perhaps
Il va
to...
tirer, c'est sûr. Il n'y a pas d'intérêt que ça tape. Si elle peut juste faire ça, toucher celle-là ici, c'est parfait.
I think I'd be tempted to try and just
elle fait juste ça, celle-là elle vient là.
almost
Mais c'est comme ça.
hit in between the two Yellowstones and just try and open up that centre line a little bit. Just throw down a stick of dynamite and just try and blow a hole in the on the centre line just so you can get in there to score here in this third end, because any sort of score for Norway in this third end and is game over really.
Well, there's 3 stones remaining. 2 for Geoffrey and 1 for Geoffrey Vincent and 1 for Ulfrid.
That's really not helpful.
Well, if you were going to hit one of the front ones, it would be the other one, not that one. Because then if you hit it and stuck on it, you could be lying in a way that you could tap up with your last shot. Now you can't tap up because there's a whole wall of reds behind you.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that decision there from the French.
Hvis vi garder den, da har vi ikke lett slag.
Tappe inn her eller noe.
Ja, det er vanskelig. Kanskje du garder den ene over. Hvis du garder den, så har du ikke noe... Det blir vanskelig snart.
Vi kan ha der. Da får han ikke med seg mer enn de 2, tror jeg. Kan være syltynn.
Da blir det fortelling for den. Det er så veldig syltynt på den, av den her da. Toppen her, men da tror jeg ikke det er nok fart, da går ikke den 6-eren ut.
Well, I can tell you here, Richard, that what they're discussing is how can they make this situation any better? They're already lying 3 in front of the 4-foot. There's no direct way in, but they need to look at, okay, what options are there for France to be able to score here?
Well, none with a stone on the right belonging to France.
Midt på teksten,
Don't
der
think
ja.
they're going to get first shot there.
There we have the 2002 Olympic champion, Paul Trolson. Also now the Secretary General for Norwegian Curling Federation, and on the right, team coach Peter Moe, who actually played third for a long time with Christopher Sva and Håvard Vad Pedersen, along with Thomas Lovold. He's actually studying sports coaching at the moment, so bringing a lot to the team. And of course the notable character missing there was Ola Ingvaldsson. Richard, big pal of yours.
He's a big job to do, trying to make Hungarians curl effectively.
Okay, so we're just going to throw a guard up here. I'd imagine just one that's just to cross the centre line. Just trying to take off any of these options on these Yellowstones over here. And it could be a delicate tap, the only shot really here for Geoffrey Vincent.
On the right hand one of these 2, of 3, sorry.
Yeah, the Yellowstone just closest to the French skip. Just pop it through that little gap and into the 4-foot, score 1.
He's going for the other one, of course. I think it's a much harder shot.
Well, I think what he needs to worry about here is that the yellow might not actually get onto the inside of that red, and the shot on the other side of the centre line might still lie. So
I certainly think playing this yellow is, he's coming across the face of the shot and tapping it through that gap. The gap is much less because the angles are tighter. The gap for the stone nearer to the front of the rings is much greater because you can have a clean approach to it.
I think you just maybe go cross-eyed with that explanation, Richard. It's certainly a very difficult shot. Needs to get to the inside, needs to make a raised double, and for the shooter to squeeze through. And that's not going to cut it. 2 reds here in the third end, and this is getting embarrassing. A big blow from Geoffrey Vincent, and after 3 ends, the home country Norway leading France by 7 shots to 0.
Ah bah oui. Sinon, ça le fait rire en plus. Qu'est-ce que tu veux dire? C'est la misère, qu'est-ce que tu veux que je te dise? Il y a personne qui joue bien, il y a personne qui joue bien.
Samme linje som forrige gang. Bra linje.
Ja, det er litt slappere spor.
Vær med den der. Ser bra ut.
Han er lang
Dør nå.
nok. Han er lang nok.
Ja, men foran 10 går bra da.
Foran 10 er fint.
13-4.
Nå prøver å spille litt curling.
So very one-sided here in our featured game between Norway and France. After 3 ends, Norway leading France by 7 shots to 0.
Juste vitesse. Je la pousse un peu peut-être. Je la pousse un peu.
Un peu plus. Premier cercle. Un peu plus. Ralenti.
Oh, jamais.
Mieux de l'autre.
So the corner guard put out by France. Frédéric Butudin, 81% at this point.
Ganske lik linje. Litt videre linje. Linja er lik.
84%
Ligger bra.
Det er lange.
Jeg er klar.
championship so far for
Litt mer T-line. Bak 10, tror jeg.
Peterson, but Peterson
Ta jobben, det er bedre jobben litt bak. La han heller køle opp da.
So again, Val Peterson just a little bit pacey with that second stone. Just wonder if there's a difference between those stones that the Norwegians have picked up. That's the only explanation that I can have for Val Peterson just overthrowing a second stone a couple of times. Maybe just a little bit of a difference in speed. You'll know, Richard, you've matched all these stones, have you not?
yes, so that's plainly nonsense. However,
Vitesse. Joli. Vitesse. Peu moins. Joli.
there's an increasing
Changement, Mouet.
awareness of stones when you're
Fort les gars, fort.
curling at the top level.
Mouet.
Why do you think that is?
Vitesse. Oh.
Well, they need something to blame. There's an element of that in it, certainly. But the stones, I don't think, have ever been so good as they are now. And the curlers who've played in the championships for the last 3 or 4 years know these stones. These particular stones came into play at the European Championships in 2009 in Aberdeen. So they're very familiar with them.
Tjukkalv!
Yeah, and of course, I think I'm going to try and defend the players a little bit here, Richard, and say that I think the ice conditions are better than they've ever been as well. And I think that can quite often show up any very slight differences between the stones. Takes the kind of variable of the ice out of the equation. Christopher Sva playing 95% for the tournament so far. Of course, it's just for one game. That won't include the stats for this game thus far. And the French lead, Boutudans, put a really nice freeze in between those red stones. Could be a little bit of a nuisance for the Norwegians.
0-1.
52% from Brodel Vincent.
Un peu plus fort. Entrée de maison. Vitesse. Entrée de maison. Oh, vitesse bonne, juste la ligne. Ça ralentit. Oh, ouais. Ouais, ça tire, ouais. Ouais, Fred, ouais. Fort, les gars, fort.
Oh, it doesn't really matter where this Yellowstone goes. I think it's still going to be a peel from Ilsrud. I think they really need to protect that Yellowstone at the moment. They could still be throwing a corner guard.
Vi blir ikke kittet I huset, men blir kitbackingen bra. Sånn da. Ok. Nå lyser skjuteren bare. Ja, spill den safe. Ja! Wow! Bra satt, Nesbø.
No doubt about the shot for Norway. Peel off the guard.
Nå var liksom min option å skjerpe deg, skjerpe alle heller, det var helt ikke sikkert lyst på åpne, sånn. Ja, skjerpe deg, men der Kvakk! Bare låke! Vitesse! La même! Plus fort, rentre une maison! La même! Oh, elle est plus là! Vitesse, c'est quoi? La même! Oh! Quand ça travaille! Ouais! Fort, les gars, fort! Ouais! Fort, les gars, fort! Oh! Det bonusen!
Torger Nergard next to have a go at peeling the guard off. Torger, one of the few curlers who still lifts the stone.
Yeah, I've seen Thomas do it from time to time actually. Richard, I wanted to ask what you think. First of all, do you think Thomas Dufour is watching this game? And second of all,
no, I don't think he's watching it.
Second of all, what do you think he's thinking about not being here this week?
Well, he's going to be in action shortly because they're going to be challenging for the last two spots for the Olympic Games coming up in Sochi in February in Russia.
Yeah, so bigger fish to fry maybe.
Well, perhaps.
De to går, den ruller ut. Kan du pilen klint av?
But this team didn't beat Dufour to win the French championship.
Klint!
The team that knocked Dufour out were the ones that these guys defeated in the final.
Yep.
Anyway, here's Team Norway, Torger Nergård. Very impressive numbers so far. Again, Norwegian players shooting over 90% in the first game.
So,
Vitesse, la même. La même. Oh, jamais. Entrée de maison. Jamais. Entrée de maison. Même vitesse. La même. Juste taper la jaune, c'est parfait. Hein. Oh, jamais, jamais. Même vitesse. C'est là où, là, un peu balayé.
So again, a guard gets thrown here. Just wonder if Hilshould will pick that one off. I think 7-0 up, you probably should. Again, I would like to see them just come in a little bit deeper there and put a freeze on that Yellowstone. Don't want to play outside of the rings forever like they did the last 10. Maybe went a stone too far and ended up in a whole heap of trouble.
Ja.
Norway very much just on autopilot now. So just while Geoffrey Vincent's lining up his final stone of the fourth end, we're going to nip over to sheet A for the first time. This is Rasmus Stjerne, currently trailing Czech Republic by 2 shots to 1. And hot off a great victory this morning against Team Scotland by a scoreline of 10 shots to 6. Has Mikael Poulsen and trolls Harry with the brushes. And will it be good enough to score 1? It will. So a really nice tap back there. I'd like a little bit of backing to steer that Yellowstone past as well, and it is a tie game after 4 ends between Denmark and the Czech Republic, 2 each.
and 45% for Vincent. That explains a lot.
Yeah, I was looking at their stats for the first game, and I don't think he was getting a lot of help either. I think the team average was somewhere in the 50s, so not really good enough at this level. I'm not sure that's exactly what they were trying to do there, but maybe not a bad result.
Well, I think it might be the first time in the game that they've laid first shot, so that's something to celebrate, perhaps.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's actually really difficult to get rid of either of those Yellowstones. I think the Norwegians think they're only lying 1 against at the moment. Maybe that number 6 Redstone's out, counting
Yes,
the number 2 Yellowstone.
it is, certainly.
Spiller Brennar og treffe den først. Treffe der, så går den. Kan hende du får den å treffe den først også. Sin halv, der.
Ja, det er der som legger inn etter å spille sånn for 2 da.
Ja, det er ganske rett slag da.
So it just shows the importance really of the setup. Even when you are 7 shots ahead, these are the 2 stones laid by Vud Petersen. They're still lying there in that pocket. That's really what you're trying to avoid, setting up these nests, shots to draw around and those sort of things when you're ahead of the game.
Men da må du helt ned, da kan shooteren bli bedre. Da må du helt ned, hvis shooteren blir bedre enn målet. Hvis det er for kort, så får du den for 3.
Det er klart han kan kanskje rømme han her sånn da.
Nei, men altså, hvis du garder her da.
Nei, jeg mener ikke garder, men han legger midt foran, så han må treffe halvparten av et eller annet. Så han ruller ut i hvert fall da, så han ikke får 3. For det, sånn som det er nå, så er det vanskelig nok å forme.
Well, I think the French Yellowstone to the right is first shot at the moment.
Nei, hit er ikke greit, Torgil. Da slår han jo den ned. Men vi ligger 1.
Ja, vi ligger 1, ja.
Her er ikke
by
greit.
Geoffrey
Da
Van
slår du
Song
den.
with his first
Ja, men da sklir den her, gjør den ikke det?
stone. So there's only one Norwegian counter
Her køler det som et
to
lass.
go here.
Det er den dumme steinen, da.
Ja, ja.
Den her kan få
Well, it certainly got them thinking, at least, Richard, for the first time in this game.
foran og 2 på.
Det er den du må
It's the
garde.
first time Norway has been under any sort of
Han
pressure.
får 3 der også.
Han får 3 på begge.
Ja, den er ikke
I
lett
don't
å
think
få
they're under
3
any pressure, but they're looking at a way of how they can score a shot at this end.
Er det nok luft der, da?
And it's quite difficult to see how they can.
Men da risker han
This
jo
point.
å gå via den og sånn, da.
Det er den du må garde, da.
Ja.
Litt over der, kan man si.
Ja, hvor langt ned ligger han sånn, liksom?
Ja, det beste er jo nesten å ligge der,
Jeg
da.
tror vi må helt ned. Ja. Fryse lomma uten å touche.
Ok, så et eller annet sted her, da.
Okay, so freeze is the decision here. And actually really difficult to get this freeze in a good spot.
Actually, I was saying I thought the French lay first shot, but looking at where the absolute pin is in the middle of the circle there, it may be that Norway lie one in the back there on the right-hand side.
Now that was actually a perfect stone there by Geoffrey Van Song. Really couldn't have done much better.
Håvard har jo spilt litt her. Jeg har listen til høyre. Hva er det vi ser det som? 3 blank? 2 blank? Vi ser det 2-9, hvis ikke det er 3 blank.
So there's a cluster of stones
Topp 4.
and around the button. And Thomas Ulstrud in the hack, ready to deliver his last stone of the fourth end.
Setter den på i slippet, altså. Opp til senter.
Ulstrud looking to make sure
Det er
he
bra. Vi køller opp.
prevents any tap-up from the French with their last stone.
Køle litt hvis vi
Og køller
kan.
litt til.
Køle litt.
Å, den ser hard ut,
Dra
gutter.
på slutten.
Den ser hard ut.
Nei, inn i søkket.
Vi er til omtrent til.
Ikke rør den, da. For da er vi bumper ikke.
Vi bumper ikke.
Helt ned.
Wow.
Well, that's what they were supposed to do. Doesn't look that happy.
No, it was a little bit harder than he wanted, I think.
Her er i hvert fall
Just
oppe
a
2.
fraction too much weight.
Da lærte vi at det ikke var noe lurt å
Sweepers
legge
are off it there.
hverandre. Det var...
And I don't know if he well, I think in relation to the little pin mark in the middle of the circle, perhaps Norway still lie first shot with their stone at the back.
Mais à peine moins, Guillaume. J'étais en combien avant? J'ai pas franchi plus en tête, ça fait tellement longtemps.
So a little bump required here.
3, 2, juste à ligne. 3, juste à ligne.
Not throwing a lot of weight here. Mostly don't want to dislodge any of the yellow granite on the other side of the centre line. Well, more than one way to skin a cat sometimes, Richard. And that one goes around the outside, chips the red in from.
That was the
From
best
behind.
shot of all.
Yeah, I don't think Thomas Ulstrud saw that one coming. But two, let's say, effective stones
Sure,
from
if Geoffrey saw it coming out.
a score of 2 in the fourth end for France. However, still very one-sided. Norway very much in control, leading France by 7 shots to 2.
Ja, vi la opp en lomme, klarte ikke å rive opp backingen. Og han la 2
Vi skal sørge for at vi skulle kanskje vært inne og løst det før, selv om han hadde en gang. For det der lå jo der hele tiden.
Ja, vi prøvde 3 ganger å fike backingen, det bør vi klare.
Prøver ikke skikkelig litt.
Nei, og det er feil.
Ja, vi skulle kanskje offra Clinton til å få løst på det, for det der ble jo ikke noe bedre av å ikke gjøre det.
Hvis vi jammer på min første litt, så har du 3 sand på nyttoppen. Vitesse! Devant! Bonne vitesse! Hop, hop!
Bien joué, Fred.
L'autre côté, Guillaume, l'autre côté.
Just enjoying a nice rendition of the French national anthem. Good support in here for Team France.
Opp med farten. Det er ikke lange. Hold
It's
ut,
a pretty big bottle of Sprite that somebody's drinking over there, Richard.
Strøk i linjen. Hardt, hardt på ekstern. Kom igjen, da. Hardt, 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 hardt. Hardt, kom igjen. Kom igjen. Hardt, 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 hardt. Hardt.
Well, I think it's going to take more than the Marseillaise to get them to win this. So, in number 5, France are off onto the scoreboard.
Oh, ligne là. Ligne là.
Bonne vitesse, bonne.
Ligne là.
Vitesse, bonne.
But for the first time, they do not have last stone advantage in this game. Need to be
Jamais. Oh, attends. Ici les gars, ouais. Ici les gars, ouais.
careful.
Bien joué, Fred.
Ouais. Je touchais la pierre.
Viens me handen, op de boek.
Je suis resté.
Havard and Peterson.
Bil linje.
OK, fart. Men
Ligger bra.
hvis vi er ute, så er det sikkert ikke så bra.
Ligger bra. Ligger bra på hjemme halve.
Just going for the draw behind these two French stones.
Strøken linje.
Ikke for litt. Bra. Bra til over.
Nicely played to the top of the 1 foot circle.
C'est là, Rodolphe, ça va. Yes. Troisième cercle.
Premier cercle. C'était un peu devant, ça va, 90. Quoi 90.
Vitesse. Juste la ligne. Premier cercle. Seulement vitesse, ligne large. Deux lignes. Oh, j'ai plus, jamais. Oh.
Oh, il y a plus de rien du tout.
Oh, ouais. Oh, laisse curler. Oh, ouais. Oh. Collez, ouais. Fort, les gars, fort. Ouais. Fort. Oh. Ouais.
Good shot from Rodolphe Vincent.
Okay, so next door here's Sven Michael throwing. Already lying one in the 8 foot circle. And shouldn't be too difficult to get a second one in there. Just draw one in, down onto the red stone for backing. And the sweepers look like they're more than happy with this one. And so they should be. Switzerland score 2 reds and narrow the gap on reigning European World Champion Sweden. 4-3 there at the half-time break. Christopher Sva trying to tidy up the front of this house here. Leaves a guard lying around. And perhaps signs, Richard, that France are starting to play some better stuff here.
Well, certainly played a few shots at this end so far.
Ça vient coller jaune. Ah bah ça décolle jaune. Ouais.
Non, ça décolle pas.
Ça décolle jaune.
Ça décolle
Ouais,
pas.
ligne. Oh,
So again, they need to freeze this on the high side if they're going to play a freeze.
Rodolphe.
That's a disaster.
And we've seen a lot of that happening, not just taking enough ice, and the shot over curling on them. There's a chance here to take both these yellows out and leave the shooter potentially. hits it right on the nose.
That looked like a big square there from Christopher.
Well, a little bit high.
Yeah, I think he just
No danger though.
just released it a little bit side to out. You can see it kind of running off the line there. So that's really important, actually, the kind of interaction between the skip and the thrower after a shot's missed. We'll come back to that in a minute, but here's Denmark and Czech Republic, tied game. No idea who's lying shot in there, but here's EUR Snetil with his final stone of the fifth. Looks like maybe a chance to score a couple. If they could get to the inside or get to the nose of this yellow. Doesn't do quite enough, and it's just a score of 1 for the Czech Republic. And they're leading Denmark by 3 shots to 2. Of course, EUR Snetil will be representing Czech Republic at the Olympic qualifiers in Fusen in a couple of weeks. And I think a lot of teams fancy the Czech Republic to be very much in the mix for the 2 spots. What about you, Richard?
Yeah, I think so. They've got a good chance. They're never easy to beat these days.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever expect anything absolutely brilliant, but you know you're going to get a consistently good performance from the Czech Republic team. A super hit and roll here from Terger Nørgaard in behind the centre guards. But still plenty to work with here for the French.
Vitesse, c'était pas mal. 85, moi j'avais. T'as combien de double? Vitesse, ligne là. Dolly, 3. Dolly, 3. Seulement vitesse. Dolly, ralenti. Dolly. Attention, ligne. Oh.
Guillaume Vincent,
Vitesse. Jamais.
third player for France.
Ici les gars.
The eldest of the Vincents.
Jamais.
He will play a very nice tap there.
Yeah, they really seem to be getting a grip on the ice conditions now. Fortunately, they've given Norway too much of a running start here to really be considered in the game.
Poenget er dumt også hvis du bare tar den røde der, og så kan man pile ut og skyte bak 50. Så vi må ta den der, og tar vi clean, så er det greit. Ja, du må gå for fjerde venstre for å få den kule.
Trønder! Klippen i nakken der! Rulla!
Ja. Jeg bare så på det. Det er fullt mulig å doble det, men jeg tror ikke vi får den røde ned.
We're going to continue to try and tidy this up. Norwegians blasting this yellow and trying to hit it across the face of the red. Super shot. Oh, it does well enough to lie too. Great shot by the Norwegian third.
Heldig med, da.
That kind of shot must take you back, Richard.
Well, it certainly achieved a number of positive things for Norway. To lie 2 at the end of it and clear off most of the guards. It's a great shot from Terger.
90-95, je pense. Après, on va trop curler après.
So I don't really know what would be best here for Vincent. I'm not too sure there's a lot of value in hitting this wide red. Maybe a little bit of damage limitation going on.
Vitesse. Dolly. Dolly, juste la ligne. 90. Juste la ligne. Juste la ligne.
Not really too sure. Are they going for the freeze here? Yeah, could well be. So still going after the Norwegians here.
It looked like a lot of ice.
Well, it probably wasn't too far away with where they put the brush. Just maybe a couple.
Fraction heavy.
Yeah, just a couple of feet too much running, but always such a tough shot, throwing an open freeze.
Skjerp er også greit. Da.
You really need to get it within an inch to be perfect.
Vi kan spille den andre veien, da. Spiller vi opp på skjerpen og så litt over.
Of course, the stone just rolling off the Norwegian
Slipper vi å spille med den
shot,
der.
making it fairly easy to remove.
Satser på den ganske bra.
And 2 stones remaining for Ulsrud.
Ja, men da blir det shot. Han får ikke shot rundt garden.
Geoffrey Vincent.
Han får ikke shot rundt garden så lenge den ligger der.
And I have to say, it looks like 3 more are going to go Norway's direction here.
Prøver å spille. Det var helt enig. De spiller etter skjerpen. Liten rull opp på egen. Ja. Jeg tror... Du vil rulle dit!
Ja, poenget er at hvis du ruller hit, så er det nesten en dobbel med rull, nesten uansett hvordan du legger deg. Med mindre du legger deg akkurat sånn, legger deg sånn, så er det dobbel med rull. Legger deg sånn, så er det dobbel med rull.
Well, they're certainly giving this shot still a lot of attention. Be too worried about it.
I think they're concentrating on where the shooter's going to finish, or hoping to finish.
Ja!
Quite like it just to roll over in front of the other one, I think.
Hardt!
Yeah, absolutely. What they don't want to do is hit and roll behind the guard and leave a potential hit and roll freeze onto the shot stone. I'd say that's pretty good there from Thomas Ulsrud. Which just leaves a double takeout and hope for a miss, really.
Vanlig take med rull, da. Da kan du rulle helt ned dit og fortsatt.
Ja, alt fra det er mye å rulle på. Jeg føler jeg kunne med. Jeg holder på ganske bra når det går fra.
So France in a bit more trouble here.
Oh, where's this one going, Richard? Very close to the yellow. Just sneaks by it and actually makes a hit and roll in behind. I don't think that was the call personally, but I think they probably ended up in the best position they could have. Certainly leaves the hardest shot that Thomas Ulsrud could have had to score 2 in this end.
And I think they were pretty lucky to get past the guard, because the stone curled a lot. Oh. Well. And if they'd caught the guard there, it would have been disaster, I think.
I don't think they can really claim they were going for the hit and roll at that weight and having to get that close to the guard to make it. But a super result anyway. Maybe Geoffrey Vincent just riding his luck a little bit in the last 2 ends. Here we have Thomas Ulsrud, final stone of the 5th end, and needs to be fully in the forefoot to score his deuce. And the sweepers aren't showing a great deal of interest. Might get a little rub on this yellow stone. And super draw. And to complete the first half, it will be another 2 on the board. And Norway reopen their 7-shot lead after 5 ends. One-way traffic here in the second draw. And Norway, and Norway lead France by 9 shots to 2.
Eh ben, adieu. Je suis pas sûr que je donne la rampure.
So on the first end, Thomas a little shrewd with that.
Det samme spor, eller? Det setter seg mye nå. Det er mye nå.
Draw for 3. To take an immediate 3-stone advantage. And this last stone from Geoffrey Vincent going too far and too wide. He taps the back one and gives up 2 more. So Norway now 5 up. Vincent lying 1 against here in the 4th end. He comes past and just nicks the red shot of Norway's to pick up a 2. Somewhat fortunately for him. And after 5 ends, Norway will lead France 9 shots to 2. In the other games, Denmark are trailing the Czech Republic 2-3. Sweden beating Switzerland 4-3. Finland 4-3 up over Latvia. And Scotland 6-2 ahead of Russia.
On va les connaître, je sais pas.
Ah oui, moi je les connais, moi.
Ah, tu les connais? T'es déjà allé boire des bières avec?
Non, mais c'est des copains à ma copine.
Des copains, ta copine.
En fait, c'est les collègues copains, copines, tout le monde c'est les collègues de classe de ma copine de l'an dernier. Ils ont dû faire une année d'études à l'étranger ici. Comme ça, les gens sur Eurosport, ils sont au courant maintenant. Voilà, comme ça, toute ta vie, c'est dans le monde. Et dans mon poids, je vais au chiottes.
Ta vie vient de défiler sur Eurosport. Salut Marseille.
Salut Marseille, on craint de gain. Tant que j'ai pas dit que j'avais une...
Assurez le dernier end. Tranquille, marquez votre point.
And the statistics after 5 ends of play. Norway 94% overall. Not being put to the test very much, it has to be said. 68% for France. 4 stolen points for the Norwegians. So we join the game again in end number 6, and we have a change of player here for Norway. A new lead for the second half of the game.
Yeah, this is Marcus Højberg, the 22-year-old. He's been playing quite a lot with these guys this season. I know Håvard didn't manage to make it to play in the Cactus Pheasant Classic this season, so Marcus went and played with Team Ilsrud and had a very successful week, making the semi-finals and actually losing out to the Swiss team, Sven Michael, in the semis there. And Marcus, of course, skips his own team. With which one of our commentators, Sander Rovog, plays with. So a nice opportunity for Marcus to get some stones under his belt. Fredrik Butudan playing 95% today. Not really too sure who's starting this game.
Vanlig pil! Der køl her!
Her kan du sette den ganske aktiv, for det køler ganske bra utover her. Serger.
Okay, so Marcus getting the ultimate embarrassment for a lead when you have to hit your own stone out for putting it in the wrong position in the first end, in the first place. Does a good job with the peel and get some feedback from Thomas on it as well. I think when Marcus is sitting in the hack and that shot's called for a second stone, I think he wishes he was still sitting on the bench.
Yes, probably. Little message sent from the skip, so. Fredrik Butudan.
Ah, il craque. Ah, il a craqué. Il a craqué. Il a pas le coup de coude, ça. Il a pas le coup de coude, ça.
Of course, all games do have to go a minimum of 6 ends in round robin.
That's really a particularly bad guard shot, because it allows Norway to take them both away.
Yeah, the only difficulty about this is rolling the shooter away and removing them both, but they are far too close together. Sva playing 95%. We've seen a lot of heavyweight takeouts coming down. That wasn't a 100% shot there. If you have just joined us, this is the second draw of the men's competition here at the 2013 Le Gruyère European Curling Championships. And we're live from the Sumarka Arena in Stavanger, Norway. Our featured game, France and Norway. Well, Norway really blowing France out the fjords here and leading by 9 shots to 2. And my name's Logan Gray and I'm joined by Richard Harding. And this is the 6th end. Meanwhile, next door, here's Niklas Edin, leading Switzerland by 4 shots to 3.
Ingen rygg. Ingen rygg. Han curlar inte än. Linjen är lugn. Ingen rygg. Känns okej. Nej. Den har snart rygg också.
A draw for 1 against 2 red Swiss counters. Finds the 4-foot circle with the backing and Sweden established their 2-shot lead after 6 ends. 5 shots to 3.
La vitesse, hein, c'était bon. Il y a 90.
Okay, so another nice draw here around that yellow guard. Nice draw there by Rodolphe. So it looks like it might be a straightforward deuce here for the French. They'll just continue to throw this guard and run down the Norwegian stones. And in theory they should split the rings. And if they do a good job of that, it'll just leave a hit and stick with their last stone to score 2. That's the plan. Guillaume Vincent playing third for France, only playing a pretty miserable 53% in the first half of this game. It looks like he's played a nice guard here. Handel just coming right out of these stones. I think the French could just gain a little bit more control over their shots and positioning them if they put a fraction more rotation on. So these stones a little bit closer together, and the Norwegians deciding to go for the double. Don't really know what was said in the hack, but enough for Torger to lose his concentration a little bit and the guys to have a bit of a giggle. Pulled himself together and going for the run back here. There's not a lot to say about this game at the moment, Richard. It's really kind of died to death, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's run out of steam a bit.
Do you think a score of 2 is really enough for the French to consider themselves in contention in this game?
No. No, certainly not. No, they lost too many shots earlier on to have any chance at all, really, of coming back.
Okay, and if you found yourself in the French shoes right now, would you be happy to stay out there and try and get some more experience of the conditions and playing against a high caliber opposition like Norway?
Can't imagine such a scenario, but
I don't know, Richard. I've seen you play Carolina.
I think the French are lacking a little bit in tactics, certainly quite a bit in technique, delivery, and they don't have a great control of the weight.
And they're also playing against a skip who's 98% accurate this game.
Well, that doesn't make it any easier.
So going for the run back, and that's maybe why you don't go for the run back in this situation.
Well, planted it, and of course leaves his shooter out, more or less guarding the shot he was hoping to remove.
Yeah, so all of a sudden maybe a chance for France to score 3. If they could find a way to get another yellow in behind that guard, and it could very much bring 3 into the equation for the French. Well, they certainly got the French interest now. I think I would like to see him take a little bit of a risk here and go on the other handle. Might be easier just to swoop one right in behind. Well, according to statistics, Geoffrey has a 53% chance of making this shot. Trying to squeeze it by the edge of this Yellowstone. Just going to over curl and sets up a double takeout. Big mistake there by Vincent. Potentially really a miscommunication with the sweepers and the vice. I think they should have been able to do a better job of positioning those stones. Really are a little bit of a sitting duck for Thomas Hilsrud.
Okej, da var det isfull. Pil. Innan. Alta da. Da var det mer is.
Du kan køle litt. Du har mer?
Ja. Køler jo der. Ja, mer. Der Tinnhall går... Ja.
Wow! Wow! Ja! Nei, glem det.
Well,
So, just
there was every prospect of that happening.
yeah, just got a little bit caught in between there. Doesn't make the double and doesn't make the hit and roll to the freeze. So, another draw here, and
Another look at this, and it just hits and rolls across the face of that second French stone. Leaves them lying 1 and a straight draw to the full 8-foot circle here, and Geoffrey can get 2 back to go to 9-4.
Dolly! Dolly! 3! 3! Dolly! 3! Y'a plus! 3! 3!
okay, so the sweepers are backing off this and just hoping that it rears up in time, but the heads are really quick here. And Sir Geoffrey just slides through the 8-foot. So a score of 1, and the handshakes are offered. I think that's the right thing to do. And 6 ends is all it took for Norway to defeat France by a scoreline of 10 shots to 2.
Thank you.
So 9-3 the final score in this game after 6 ends. An early finish for Thomas Ulsrud and his Norwegian champions.
Non, c'est qu'avant, je choque. Celle d'avant, elle est bonne. C'est cool, il m'a mes pieds.
Attends, faut qu'on lui règne. Ça.
We can now move across to look at the game involving Sweden, the reigning world and European champions, and Switzerland, skipped by Sven Michel. 5-3, Nicholas Edin, and his world champions lead, the Swiss.
Moeten we alle twee meegaan met dat. Ja, also. Die lift, bravo.
So the steal of a point in the fourth end, critical to the scoreline.
Bra linje, riktigt bra linje. Heda har den. Kom igen. In och bajsa fyran räcker bra. Det är bra det. Det är bra det. Perfekt. Säkert framför med garden så springer vi på dem ett.
So Switzerland have last stone advantage here in the eighth end.
Okay.
Establish the corner guard. Victor Schall,
Lite längre ut.
lead for Sweden.
Kan behöva kala den här. Mitt på linan. Sebbe har den. Gärna kala så vi kan dra den på slutet. Vänta, det kommer. Ja, dra in den. Den kommer inte garda. Ja, dra den då. Kom igen. Ja, det är bra. Lenny! Tia!
Just trying to come behind this stone and tap the yellow stone back. Well, nice shot from the Swiss there. Fredrik Lundberg going for the peel of the guard, corner guard. Successfully missing the front stone there on the way out. And Sven Michel asking his second player to replace that corner guard. Sandro Trollier.
Oh, niet al te laag, escape. Oh, Gempi. Is een hoes, oder? Mal, hij is zeker in mijn hoes. Vooral. Ja. Ja. Nog iets. Goed, blijf. Hey.
Well, stone coming right in. And now, Edin. Good to remove this one and hope for the roll behind. Well, caught it on the high side.
Okay. Kom al, hè? Okay.
Kom met, go. Nog niet. Okay.
Oh, I got the guard this time.
Så. Ja, högre gör ingenting. De har ingenting att göra med de här. Vi curlar inte tillräckligt mycket. Ja, haka okej. Haka är bra, annars rundar de kanske in en till.
So Nicholas Adin getting his third player. Sebastian Kraup just to come around and freeze onto this Swiss stone in the top of the 4-foot circle.
Okej, vänta då. Ja, vänta, nej, bara stanna. Linjen är perfekt.
Vi kommer komma runt egen.
Låt den nudda.
Det är bra.
And the Dean going for the steal.
Bra snack.
Vänta inte så! Håll dig över knasen!
Switzerland have last
Laten we
stone,
niet slecht, dan zien we mal shot, oder?
but they're in a bit of trouble here.
Of voor een grens, je nachdem. Hier zien we einfach immer noch nicht shot. Du hast keine drinnen, nichts.
I think they've got to shift these yellow stones out of there.
Schon nicht schlecht.
At the moment, there's no way Michelle's getting a point here. Needs to move these guards right out.
Så niet. Er cleart uns nicht da weg. Nimmt den nicht mit, dann sind wir wieder. Dann haben wir noch 3 Steine für 2 machen. Wie wollen wir dann noch 2 machen?
Ja, aber der Geld muss raus, meiner Meinung nach.
Wieso? Ja, das können wir auch, das geht auch. Wieso? Du kannst ihn ja so treffen, dass er hier rausgeht. Ja. Das ging ja. Sonst können wir noch Robby fragen, ist schon gut. Okay. Einmal.
So I think that was the only clear instruction from that conversation for us, Richard. Sven Michael calling a timeout.
Ja, er muss ja nicht ganz raus.
Not sure what the complication is.
Oder?
They really have to clear those yellow stones out and get to be able to get to the 4-foot circle. And it's early enough to do that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Richard. I think if I was the coach coming out here, I would be telling my team to make sure that they're able to score in this 8th end.
Very much so. They trail by 2 points. And
Aber unser Shooter muss ins Haus, springt es nicht. Aber es geht fast nicht, muss mal
if they
schauen.
lose another one here, I think they're really in trouble. And at the moment, they're set up to do just that.
Der kommt, verklemmt da und der ist schon.
Der Graf, findest du nicht gut? Also es geht auch, aber über das Kreuz ist der dann einfach offen, weil der kickt hierher unsere Guard-Kick weg. Aber wenn so gerade wäre alles also wäre unser Garten sicher einmal. Ja. Das geht vom Tempo nicht. Wenn wir im Haus bleiben, können wir den höchstens 11,5, 12 spielen. Da ist Nasse drauf, Mensch, ist nicht gut. Auf eins. Ja. Robby würde den zweiten ins Haus bringen, aber das wäre die einzige Möglichkeit so, aber das ist verdammt schwierig. Ja, der gartet er einfach. Gut, der kann ja nicht alles garten, der kann alles garten. Ja, vor allem wenn ich dann noch alle drauf... rausbringen, dann liegt er hier, dann kann er einfach noch vorklären, die zwei, und dann ist schon wieder nichts. Wollen wir den gerade spielen? Mit 9? Spielt eigentlich nicht so eine Rolle wie schnell, wir müssen einfach mal Shot sein.
Do you not think the shot here is to hit the left-hand side of that Yellowstone on the left, try and clear the two of them away, spin the one in and shoot the other one out the side?
Yeah, I would say so, Richard. I think they've got a good opportunity of bringing a corner guard into play as well if they do that. Probably forces Adine to hit that redstone in the 4 foot, and then they have the corner guard potentially to go around. So looks like they're trying to do something a little bit creative. They're not throwing massive weight. Claudio Pats, 26 years old.
Just trying the straight raise onto it.
Oh, that's a super shot.
Well, it is. Yeah, well, it was worth the wait.
Jag tror vi petar in den där. Kanske. Så va.
Well, if there's one thing that this Swedish team is renowned for, it's run backs. And we'll see if Sebastian Kraup can live up to the reputation here.
Not far away. Fantastic shot.
Well, I set him up and he delivered there, Richard.
Still, chances for Switzerland to get two still here, having out of the little bit of difficulty they were in.
So choosing to ignore the wide one and try and sneak one between those two Yellowstones at the top of the house. It's really a sign of intent here from the Swiss that they want to score here in the 8th and they want to try and get two on the board to tie the game up. The only problem for them is that these Yellowstones are really tight to the house and in prime position to be run back.
Well, great shot from Swiss third player.
And we've got another conclusion here in this second draw. Scotland beating Russia by 7 shots to 3. And your Dave Murdoch saying that's more like it. Just a few too many half shots this morning against Denmark, costing them dearly. And they get their 2013 European Championships back on track by bouncing back with a win against Russia. Niklas Edin not interested in the run back here. Just try and follow that one down from Claudio Pats.
Just corner freeze it. Tough shot. Very accurate. The one thing about the Swiss stone is it's just behind the tee line. You couldn't really be affording to do this if it was in front of the tee line.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think if that stone is just a few inches shorter, then Niklas has to play the run back. And this stone probably pretty hard for most teams, but when you've got sweepers like Lindberg and Shell, it certainly gives you a lot more room for error. Has he passed the top guard?
But a lot of handle on that shot, and I think the weight just came off it. And actually the Swiss were mindful of the fact that it was drawing very quickly at the end there down that very same line.
Well, absolutely. When you're sweeping these shots as well, you need to sweep them before they curl, because they curl so hard when the speed comes out of them. So really, you're just making them curl more.
Just caught Nicholas Edin out a little bit. So there's a big chance here for Switzerland to score 2 or even 3 shots.
Kändes som lite, men jag tyckte ändå för ut den utanför liksom. Det är fan.
Michel can get a
Ja, det är 6 fot.
hit and roll here, in behind the guard.
Immediately down with the brushes here. Needs to get past that top yellow.
Looks awfully close to it.
Panic over. Have they got a good roll?
They held it well.
Yeah, that was actually a really good shot there to hold it on the centre line. If they roll over behind that yellow corner guard, then Nicholas is just going to blast the yellow guard back, and you've got a chance of losing both reds. This way you just create a little bit more separation. Although I think he's found a different one he wants to run back this time.
Ray's double takeout.
Gillar ni den?
So a really good shot there by
Känns
Sven.
inte så mycket. Ja, snärten är inte.
Something tells me Nicholas isn't going to be too far away with this.
Det är så pass rakt, det är lätt att peta till den lite utåt.
Just maybe a
Klippen också.
fraction off the nose will do the job.
He does relish these shots. And how hard do you think this one's going to be?
Yeah, I think he won't be leaving much behind in this one.
Yep.
Oh, I've definitely seen him throw it harder than that.
Yeah.
Järnet! Hela vägen. Hårt!
Oh, there you go. Great shot by Nicholas Edin, and rolls behind the corner guard as well. Super shot by the small Swedish skip.
Enkelt att släppa raka handen.
Well, fantastic shot. Takes the 2 out, rolls in behind his shooter. Lies 2 guarded on the wing and forces Michel to draw a full 8 foot for his 1 point in this 8th end. And I think Sven Michel has improved quite a bit in the last year or 2.
Yeah, I'd say a couple of years ago they really burst onto the scene, didn't they? They weren't really that well noticed as far as the Swiss teams went, but they've really dominated the last few years for Swiss curling, although they really haven't transferred it into any big performances on the world or European stage yet. Maybe this is their year though. And nice draw from Sven Michel to make it a one-shot game after 8 ends. Sweden leading Switzerland by 5 shots to 4.
Ja, kanten. Början schon zuzutrauen, so noch mithilft. Ja. Wir müssen sowieso viel riskieren. Alles, wenn wir am Schluss noch forcen. Tappar vi en stulen så är det fortfarande bra läge liksom. Ja.
Jag menar drar vi kanten så är det.
Ja. Och sen bara signetira med det, inte gå för de här tjocka utan spela enkelt och komma in i. Ta lite jämnt så.
So 5-4, Sweden leading in the 9th end and now regaining the last stone advantage here.
Okay.
Well, always interesting for me to watch how the best teams in the world play this sort of situation where it's a close game and in around the 9th end. They also want to blank here, the Swedish, and I feel the best way to do that is to draw one to the wing behind the T-line.
Why is that?
Well, it just kind of keeps one out of the way, and you never know, some teams, maybe not the best teams, but some teams might be tempted to hit it. They don't like seeing opposition counters in the house. But I know the Swiss won't fall for that trick. They're going to try and get as many stones in around the centre line as possible and really throw caution to the wind here in the 9th end to try and get a steal probably, or even a score of 1 for Norway for Sweden keeps them in the game here. So Simon Gempler playing 94% against Victor Schell's 81. This sort of situation is always a real discussion point in my team. I know, trying to work out what we want to do, and we've tried a few different things trying to find a winning formula.
Ligger här, kom inte, ta den på T-line då, så ifall de ska vicka så kommer de med. Jag tar den bakom T nu också. Ja då, det är okej.
So you would prefer to be, if you are Switzerland here, you would prefer to be, sorry, if you're Sweden here winning 5-4, you would prefer to be 5-4 going home with last stone. Yes, you probably would, compared to well, no, you'd rather be 6-4, wouldn't you?
I don't think it makes too much difference whether you're 5-4 or 6-4. I think 5-4 you've probably got a better chance. But they certainly don't want to give up a steal here.
No.
Okay, so an aggressive call here. Going for a freeze.
Why would you not want to just take a point and be 6-4 up?
Well, then you're giving the opposition an opportunity to get a multiple score on the board with the last stone, and maybe just a few stones start to build up around the place, and all of a sudden Sven Michel's left with a wild circus shot that he's forced into this last one to score, which he could even score 3 off. So I think the odds are slightly better for being 1 up with than 2 up without, but I might be wrong. This is where you need Jerry Gertz of Curling Zone in these things. He always tells me the stats for these things, but I can never remember them. Should really write them down one of these days.
Did you get the black book?
Yeah. But I think more and more when the best teams play each other, there's very much an acceptance that the 9th end isn't going to be blanked. Teams are so good at getting lots of stones in play and really not giving the team with the last stone the opportunity to blank. Okay, so a good freeze by Fredrik Lindberg gives Norway the chance to peel some of the guards off here and just tidy things up a little bit.
Sweden.
Who did I say?
Norway.
Norway. I'm still in Norway France mode. They threw a lot of peels early on.
Yes.
As we said before, really important for Sweden to make sure that they score here. I certainly don't want to see any sort of a score for Switzerland here in the 9th.
Well, Sven Michel's got a pile of red granite down that centre line at the moment. First shot of Claudio Pats. Halfway through this 9th end.
Okay.
Well, perhaps a little bit too far up.
Good.
Oh, Nicholas has called for Sebet to come down and have a look. Sebet
Nästan
just
som man ska spela
fractionally
den.
outplaying Claudio.
Den här
Really
sidan
not too
blir ingen
much
bra
in
om
it,
du skickar ner den rätt på det där. Även om du missar den, klicka någon. Den här blir kanske inte gigantiskt bra, den finns kanske inte. Man kan precis nudda den, men jag tänker bara dubbla dem. Även om du chappar så...
Anyway, while Team Sweden are mulling that one over, here's Yuji Snetil of Czech Republic trailing Denmark by 5 shots to 3. Denmark scoring 3 in the 7th end, of course. And needs a piece of the 1 foot to score 2. How does it look? Oh, just drifts a little bit too far. And it's only going to be 1. Real disappointment on the face of Yuji. 8 ends played, and it's Denmark 5, Czech Republic 4.
Nikdo nic neříkal, jenom jsme řvali. Škoda.
Not great body language there from the Czech Republic team. And not great proximity either. See, in between the ends when they're having these chats, you kind of, we've been having a look at this psychology of these end-on-end chats, and always kind of encouraged that despite what's happened the end before, if you've had a good end the end before, then you'll generally stand a lot closer together than you would if you'd had a bad end. So watch out for that one, Richard.
That way you're standing around a lot on your own.
Yeah, I would say so. As I've said before, you need to win something to find the winning formula.
Yes. Claudio Pats. Third for Switzerland. He's trying to re-establish his guard a little bit further away, I think, than he had it the last time, to stop the raise.
Yeah, Claudio's, of course, the brother of Alina, who's playing this week for Miriam Ott and getting some ice time as well.
Well, that's a better shot from Pats.
Marginalen, ta den är okej.
Yeah, well, the good thing in the moment for Sweden is that they do have a shot to score. I'm pretty sure if they hit that Yellowstone, then they're going to jam it in there and they're going to score 1. So they can just keep peeling this stone and they'll get what they want. They'll get their score out of this 9th end.
So it does look like a 6-4 up coming home game.
I think Sweden are trying to run this onto that Yellowstone I just mentioned. Super shot there. But that Yellowstone just spins behind the tee line, and all of a sudden the Swiss have a shot to freeze on right on the pin. A good one here from Sven could see Sweden in real bother.
Well, I'm not sure if he absolutely froze that Yellowstone of the Swedes, whether he would be covering the centre line enough to mean that if Edin followed, he would not lie for shot.
Well, Sven's been a lot more confident with the draws than the hits today, playing 92% for draws. Looks like he's running a nice line here.
It does. That's a very good shot indeed. Beautiful shot. And there's no doubt now from that angle you can see it straddles the centre line, and if Edin just bumped it, it wouldn't help him at all. He's going to have to go for some kind of raise instead.
So Latvia, Finland.
Hey!
Here's Tony Antila with the final stone of the 8th end, trailing Latvia by 6 shots to 4. Oh, he's made a big mistake here. That was a nose hit takeout to score 3. Misses the double and gives up another steal. Latvia move into a 7 shots to 4 lead over Finland. And here's Niklas Edin with a run back to open things up, and he's played a super shot there. Runs it back, manages to just flick that redstone off the button.
That's a tremendous shot.
I don't think Sven can quite believe this one. He's really getting undone by some super run backs from Niklas Edin.
Not much you can do against that. So now, if Michel can hit this one on the nose, he will lie 2 before Edin's last shot here in the 9th end.
Well, makes the double and rolls it out of the rings to lie 2. Nice shot there by Sven Michel. And Niklas will be forced to play for 1 here.
Yeah, there's no way he can take those 2 out anyway. Oh, well, that probably is the way he plays, but it's not a percentage shot.
Känns som ganska stor risk, alltså det är inte mer än 50-50 känner jag på att dra oavsett han. Men här det finns ju ingen curl.
Just throwing the draw would be fine,
med stöd här.
but you don't want to risk giving up 2. So I think ideally you want to play a takeout, but it's not easy to play. There is no easy takeout to lie shot stone.
No, well the front one you can take it out, but you're not going to lie shot stone. And the back one's a little bit difficult to get at past that. Past that guard.
Jag säger att den här dragningen är nog svårare än den här dragningen. Den här ska så jävla, vi har inte spelat någon sten här ute.
But I think the shot is just the draw, either through that little gap on the right as we look at it, or else the draw round on the left hand side looking at it, round that guard. Well, he's going for this. He's going for the double takeout.
Yeah, clearly really doesn't want to give up that steal of 2.
No, but he doesn't want to give up a steal of 1 either.
Well, if he gives up a steal of 1, then he's still tied with the last stone, so still has a very good chance of winning the game. Maybe a little bit thick. So I don't think that was a disastrous call from Niklas. Just playing the scoreboard. And he's had some pretty good takeouts prior to that, so it will be a tie game coming home. Sven Michel with a super double to set up the steal.
And just hitting that little bit, over curling just a little bit and failing to connect with the second Swiss counter giving up the steal of a point for a 5-5 tied game going into the 10th end.
So 5 apiece. Sven Michel with all the work to do here in the 10th end to try and get another mistake out of Niklas Edin. For me, Sven Michel really showed his worth this year when they made the final of the Cactus Pheasant Classic, one of the best competitions of the year. Made it all the way to the final. It was a one-sided final, to be fair, against Mike McEwen. But just a terrific performance to get that far with all the best teams in Canada and Europe playing there. And I believe Sven Michel was around 16-1 at the start of this week for this championship. I think I would have taken those odds for these guys. Certainly wouldn't. I would certainly consider them in contention for the medals. When you get down to the playoff stages, you never know over one game who's going to win.
Hands up! Whoa, whoa! Up, 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 up! Up, up, up. Den är helt okej, den är helt okej. In! Grym!
Really nice tight shot there by Victor Schell.
Linie ist gut. Ja. Schon gut. Bis hier muss er schon haben, ha? Komm mit, noch ein! Komm mit, noch ein! Komm mit! Das können wir vielleicht auch noch brauchen.
Another good center guard here by Gempler. And Victor Schell again will go on the end turn and try and chip that right off to the side. Of course, Sweden just trying to keep the center line open here, but not remove this redstone from play with the free guard zone. This one's over curling a fancy. Just looked like a slightly softer release than his first attempt.
Yep, not such a good one there. So the chance now for Sandro Trollier to draw behind the centre guard.
Hur länge är det? Sett fast störig ut. Väck!
Well, it's a poor shot. Really far too heavy.
Yeah, that's not the one they were looking for.
No.
Niklas is going to try and clear this up, and really the best that the Swiss will be able to do in this final end is make Niklas face two and hope for a huge mistake.
Whoa! Mer! Yep! Whoa! Whoa! Yep, yep, whoa! Kom igen.
Oh, that red at the back won't change things too much. Here is Rasmus Stjarne of Denmark, leading by 5 shots to 4. It's final stone of the 9th end, live. And he's facing a yellow in the 4-foot circle here. There is a yellow in the 4-foot circle, but there's also red on the button, Richard, so he's drawing for 2. Looks pretty close. Can the supers drag it down there? I don't think so. Not this time. Still a score of 1 for Denmark, and they're in control there, going into the 10th end, leading by 2 shots. Denmark 6, Czech Republic 4. They just can't get that corner guard moving. But still not a lot for Switzerland to be worried, for Sweden to be worried about.
No, Sven Michel can only really put out the guard again and hope that the Swedes either miss or hit it on the nose. Neither of which looks likely to me.
Zet vast hoes aus, Driller. Dat is een hoes, dat is een hoes. Jo. Hey.
Well, quite often in these sort of situations, you only get one chance at that draw around the centre to really make a good one, and then you just have to guard it for your life. And that was the miss in this end for the Swiss that have given them this issue of forcing Niklas to play a hard shot with his last one. Looks like it'll be very open. Oh, I think they're going for the double here, but the one thing that they do need to guard against is hitting this one on the nose and leaving something to draw around. I think Sebe might have had that in the back of his head on this one. Plays it safe and runs the shooter away.
Två rätt perfekta taker som inte får ut så mycket mer än sådär. Nummer 2. Zet längre aus. Zet längre aus. Oh, der kein Strich, Gempi. Nej, ja nicht. Ja nicht, ja nicht, nein, ja nicht. Hej. Man knäckte rent.
Yeah, I don't need to think about this too much at the moment. Just keep getting those guards off and give Niklas the easiest shot possible with his last one to score and win this game. Of course, both teams did win convincingly in the first round. Sweden beating the Czech Republic by 8 shots to 2. And Switzerland beating France by 13 shots to 3. Not a great day at the office for the French.
No, and I don't think Thomas Dufour, the skip of the French team in recent years, would have been losing by that amount of shots. Always quite tough to beat Dufour and his team. Quite often lost, but not by very much, mostly.
Yeah, and even Thomas last year managed to, I think he only managed to secure a position of 8th at the Europeans, so just shows you the standard here at the European Championships.
That was all that Sven Michel could really do. Put out the centre guard, hope for a hit on the nose or a miss. But if anybody's not going to make a mistake with this shot, here's your man.
Yep, man. Yep, man. Yep. Gå nu.
No problem.
So where do you go now? Do you go to
Home.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think you need to make him throw his last one at least first, Richard. But
Yes.
you either throw one to the front of the house, or you throw one to one side of the forfeit or the other, where you feel like you might get a head and roll out miss. That's pretty much the options. I think it's difficult to throw one to the front of the rings when Niklas is always going to have that pocket at the back. It's really difficult to get their stone in a good position where they can
Perhaps somewhere in line with his back two, but in the 4-foot area, just short of the tee line. Do you think that too?
Yeah, I think they're going to try and draw one over to the right-hand side of the 4-foot circle as we see it, and make Niklas play an in-turn takeout with his last stone.
Yep.
It's maybe where they feel that Niklas might be a little bit weaker. We've seen three. I think Niklas's last 4 shots maybe have been out-turn takeouts.
Yeah.
He's been pretty good with them, so
Yes.
maybe give them try something different.
Så länge kom fel här. I line. Rörlig. Switcha. Switcha. I line.
Vier voet,
Vise 4.
Gå ett längre.
Vise 4, Jonas.
Pretty good. That's about all they could do. So Niklas has the option of either drawing the forfeit or playing hit and stick. What's your preference?
Den här taken är ju inte alls svår egentligen, men i och med att det går så pass rakt så kommer man lite fel. Men då spelar vi taken.
He still doesn't want to throw this in turn. Richard, I wonder if we can read anything into that.
What's the point when he makes all the out turns?
Well, I know somebody else like that. Certain Scottish curler, David Smith. Pretty sure his feelings in the situation, or his analogy in the situation is, well, when you've got Cristiano Ronaldo in your team, why would you play him in defence? Explain that one for me.
Jag spelar typ 10,5 helst. Exakt samma is, exakt samma träff räcker ju. Den stannar ut 8. Men är den så pass hårt så säg till någonting. Men är den runt 10,5 så jobbar vi linje bara. Nej, det är vi skottat på.
Okay, so Niklas Edin's final stone in this game. I can tell you, I've had some messages from Jerry Gertz in Curling Zone, and in this situation, since 2010-11, Niklas Edin is 19 wins and 2 losses when tied with the hammer in the last end. So, pretty good odds.
Thanks, Jerry, for that information.
And it looks like he's going to make it 20-2.
Perfect shot. As if there was any doubt. So Edin wins against Switzerland 6 shots to 5 in the second round of the European Championships here in Stavanger.
Bra. Det var fan inte lätt spelat. Jag förstår nu vad skottarna sa.
Man tänkte att det var överdrivet, men det här var fan en helt annan. Det här var ju liksom lutan.
Okay, and on to the next one. We're getting around tonight here at the Samarka Arena. If you've just joined us for Norway-France, that finished about an hour ago. Really one-sided game, Norway getting off to a flyer and defeating France in just 6 ends by 9 shots to 3. And then you also missed Sweden against Switzerland. Sweden winning that one by just 1 shot. And now we're on to Denmark, Czech Republic. And Denmark are leading Czech Republic by 6 shots to 4. That's Martin Schnitil, brother of Yishi, who's in the hack, ready to throw his first stone in this 10th end.
Well, low percentage for Yishi Schnittel, 57. I don't think you can expect to win on that kind of stat. Actually surprising, he's as close as 6-4.
Rasmus giving Johnny Fredriksson a little bit of extra encouragement just to sweep that one out from behind the red stone at the front of their house. I think you would have maybe seen a lot of teams just draw around that red stone. There, Richard, trying to force a mistake that way. Yishi makes the takeout, but doesn't stick the shooter in behind the guard. There's Lars Villant, clearly filming this final and probably victorious shot for Rasmus Stjerna. Looks like he's going for some new facial expressions when he's sliding out. Very, very stern. No problem at all. Whacks the yellow out, and the yellow stone to complete the end won't be required. Czech Republic concede, and Denmark will take this second draw by 6 shots to 4. A really good day at the office for Rasmus and his boys after a win against Scotland this morning. And they'll join Sweden on 2 wins and no losses. Not a great day for the Czech Republic, losing out to Sweden this morning and following it up with a loss to Denmark. Now 0-2 for this 2013 Gruyère European Curling Championships. And just 1 game remaining out on the ice. Latvia in full control. Rietvar Gulbis leading Tomi Rantamäki by 7 shots to 5, and he has the last stone here in the 10th end.
Jop. Jop. Hei, hei. Suunta hyvä. Jop. Jop. Kova. Kova nyt. Hei. Hyvä. Niin.
I don't know why Rietvar's peeling this guard, this yellow guard, in this direction. He's got a real chance of redirecting this yellow onto the red, wide red, and spinning into the rings if he hits half stone. Well, can't say I didn't call that one, Richard.
No, perfect call. Not shot. Not just a perfect shot. Perfect call though.
It's just absolutely no need to play that on that handle, and Rietvar Gulbis can't quite believe it. But there's absolutely no reason he shouldn't have been throwing that on the other handle. And now he's in real danger of losing a steal of 2. Crazy.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but
Puolet pesää!
Oh, a good guard on here, Richard. And I mean, what do you do? It's you're drawing the edge of the 1 foot just to lose 1.
Puolet pesää! Puolet pesää!
Line's looking pretty good.
Heti kun puolet pesässä saa lopettaa.
I think they'll want to leave this one outside the house.
Ei yhtään.
It's actually a really good shot. Just gets a little bite. And now all of a sudden 3's in the equation.
Mut suunnan takia loppuu, ettei se nouse liikaa.
Oh dear.
Varja.
well, he can just come at this, tap it, and lose 1.
Yeah, well, he's lucky he's got 2-shot lead. He'd be in a lot more trouble if he only had a 1-shot lead.
Yes.
So you either play the raise and try and triple all the yellows out. Well,
It's
I guess
Gulbis we're talking about, not Nicholas Adin.
well, I guess he only needs to get 2 of them out. So,
Well, he's not going to do that, is he?
well, I think where they're putting the brush,
Yeah.
looks like they are, but the other option is to come down and just try and draw one on top of that yellow.
That can't be that hard a shot to do that.
The draw?
No. Just to tap it. The back one goes out and he loses 1, wins the game 7-6. This is much more complicated.
Well, let's see how it goes. Reitvar Gulbis really got himself in some trouble here. And this is running really straight.
Roni, kā tas iepriekšējais sanāca? Tu man vari pateikt?
He's not happy about something.
Well, I think the only thing not to be happy about is himself.
Yeah, a bit of tactical insanity there in the 10th end from Reitvar Gulbis. And this one's going to go to extra time. I don't think the Finnish can quite believe their luck there.
No.
10 ends, not enough to separate Latvia and Finland. 7 each.
Minuutti. Tagad nevar vairs mest garām. Puogali! Vai pierēs kaut ko? Es precīzi esmu.
Extra end here in draw 2. The last game out on the ice, Finland and Latvia.
Mihin vaan pysähtyy, niin on hyvä.
This could well be quite an important game this week. Both these teams will be keen to try and qualify for
Hyvä.
the World Championships, never mind keep their place in the European Championships. I know that if Tomi Rantamaki was to qualify Finland for the World Championships, then they would be the representative for Finland. They are the Worlds. Meanwhile, I don't think Reitvar Gulbis has played the Worlds before, so... I think Reitvar's pretty rattled out there at the moment. He's not the coolest character I've ever come across.
No. See, even his brother's not playing with him now.
Yeah.
I think he's tough to handle.
Always entertaining to watch, though. Really a victim of his own creation here. There's absolutely no need for this game to go to an extra end, but a moment of sheer unadulterated lunacy has put us here.
Hei, hei, suunta hyvä. Hyvä heitto, Kimmo, hyvä.
Okay, so another guard goes up. And Latvia can't play a peel at this stage. So maybe just try another tick shot here. Did the right thing there, the finish, by guarding that red stone.
Arthur's Gerhardt's. New lead for Rituars.
This isn't getting anywhere near the tick shot.
No, it's too heavy.
Well, Latvia need to be a little bit careful here. They've got a massive advantage in having the last stone. They need to pull together here a little bit and make sure they play 6 good stones to finish this game. They'll look at odds and evens at the moment. Here's pick up Pura.
Hey, hey, hey.
So probably better up there than doing what we saw Sandro Trollier do earlier on and drifting to the back of the tee line.
Well, I don't think there's much harm in Finland having any short stones at the moment. So Ivar's Abertons. Here's one.
I'm sure all the teams going on for night practice would be thrilled to see Rutvar Gulbis play that shot in the 10th end. It's going to be another 20 minutes later and getting to their beds tonight.
Well, he looks quite angry. Don't know why. They're right back in the game. They should have been defeated.
Well, just trying to drop this one just over the hog line, and he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, not bad.
Maybe a little bit closer together than you would hope.
Yep. So Ivar's his second shot here in the 11th end for Latvia. He's been in this team for a while.
Well,
it's okay.
Yeah, at least they got one away.
Kierto.
Here is Tomi Rantamäki, the skip and third player for Finland. Looking for a nice draw around onto the top of the button with this one, I fancy.
Yep.
45 years old. Just lost a rock clock there.
Yep.
So this one's going to over curl. They're going to try and tap the yellow to get some separation. Not a good shot, and that's 2 opportunities that Finland have had to try and get one in behind the guards here.
It's not a disaster though. The more short guards there are, the better, really. So Norman Sarsens. Only managed to move one.
Yeah, and that just squeezes over into a little bit of a nasty spot for the Latvians. It covers that in-turn draw that they might need later on.
It does. That's not ideal. Gives Finland a great chance to come round
Kierto.
and lie on the top of the 4-foot circle, guarded.
Joo, se oli hiljainen. Eli 295.
So we could do a better job this time. He's had a bit of a sighter with the first stone here and an extra. And I think Tommy smells a bit of blood here. You can see River Gulbis head down, and would really want to put as much pressure on as possible with this draw.
On tee.
Must stay,
Weight all important.
must stay in front of the tee line.
Well, that's just the difference between Sweden and Norway and even Switzerland and these guys. They would nail that shot.
Yeah, didn't even give the sweepers a chance on that one. So Saracens with the peel, chance to get a few yellows moving here and take the pressure right off his skip.
Well, he does. That's certainly a pretty good shot. Still looks tortured from the last in.
Yeah, and that's also the great ability of the best teams as well, is being able to put what's happened before behind you and focus on the job that's in front of you. So River Gulbis playing 70% today, and he's going to need to make a couple of good ones to finish this game off. I think he may be in the doghouse tonight with his coach if he if he loses this game.
Hey.
Doesn't look like this is blessed with running.
Jop. Nyt saa tuoda. Kova.
Really want to get this in, touching the 4-foot circle. Not a bad attempt.
Hyvä Harja.
Well, it's on the in front of the tee line at least, but
so we're going to have a little practice draw here. I say quite like this call. Try and freeze that yellow shot stone. I don't think there's any great value in peeling the red guard. Well, there's one thing that you can't do here, and it's come up short on this freeze. If you leave anything in the 8-foot circle in front of the tee line, then it's just going to get in the way of your final draw. So important to know where your tolerance is here. Important that the sweepers know it as well.
that is a shocking shot. Absolutely disastrous.
No som helst.
It's like I know what he's going to do before he does it. Wow, what a chance now for Finland.
I don't think you could have played a worse shot if you'd tried to.
Se ei nouse niin
Miles
voimakkaasti
short.
tuolta. yksi vaihtoehto on tässä.
Yeah.
Niin, se on aika vaikea. Niin taipuu.
Well, I have to think. I think that Finland have to think that the easiest shot is probably the out turn up the centre line onto the back one. This is Timo Patrika.
Heittokivi
It's a
eteen.
good call to have a timeout here. Just makes Ritvar even more ratty by the time he comes to play. He's got very difficult shot. Even if Finland don't play a shot here, he's got a tough shot.
Yeah, and I kind of spoke before a little bit about sports psychology and your team being close together and all that sort of thing. I can tell you that Ritvar Gulbis is at completely the opposite end of the ice from everything and everybody. He just wants to distance himself from the whole thing. Somebody needs to grab him by the scruff of the neck and get his head in gear for this last stone.
Millä toi tultiin, niin meidän pitäisi melkein vielä pienentää sitä merkkiä. Oh. Me tultiin tuot...
So what would you play here then?
Honestly, don't know. You could just throw a guard in the centre line and that stops that shot up the centre line that I was talking about.
It's a pretty good shot that. It would force Gulbis to come round on the right hand side as we look at it and to come to face the back yellow for his winning shot. That would still be on, but
yeah, and his other option is that you could come around that red stone and just block that draw that you just mentioned, Richard. So
could do that. Although,
but then that make the shot up the centre line easier.
Yes.
So it's a tricky one.
I don't think the shot up the centre line is that easy if it was still available to Gulbis. Need to be very accurate on the line.
Well, I can tell you that I don't think they're playing any of the shots we mentioned. They're going to come around and try and tap that Yellowstone up at the top of the 8-foot circle.
It's not a bad shot either, though. I don't think.
I'd say it's probably the hardest of the three shots, but maybe the one with the most reward. So
yep, that's exactly right.
Yep.
So Tony Antila, his final stone here. Is this in the guard? It's in the guard. Well, there's that draw on the out turn now. They don't have to play at any weight, so that really didn't improve the situation. But still not an easy shot left for Gulbis, and when your blood's boiling, it's not always that easy to get the adrenaline levels down to throw a nice cool draw to the forefoot.
Well, it wasn't a very good shot, really, I'm afraid. Does give Gulbis a chance just to...
The Finnish bench definitely see that as a missed opportunity. Polanen and Patrika.
They just need to draw down the line towards that back yellow stone, and if he gets past the front yellow in his draw, then it's naturally going to draw to the back one. He has to have the right weight too, and he was way off on the weight with his last shot, so he has to throw enough weight to be at least tee-high.
Well, I know Ritvar was watching Tomi's draw on this one. I kind of watched him walk over behind him, and I think he's overthrown this. He thinks he's overthrown it. How's it looking? The line's great for the back end. Oh, super draw here by Ritvar Gulbis, and a massive sigh of relief. He looked really twitchy when he let that go.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Tony Antila puffing the cheeks, I think. They really thought they were going to do that there.
Well, I think they would have done if he hadn't opened it up.
Yeah, fair comment, Richard. But after missing 3 shots in a row, bit of a roller coaster ride there for the Latvian bench. And there you have it. They've got their win on the board and bounced back from a loss this morning. Latvia now 1 win and 1 loss, while Finland go to 0 wins and 2 losses after a loss to Russia this morning. So quite the evening here.
Well, we've certainly seen a lot of curling, no doubt about that.
I'm not too sure about in the first game, Richard, but I'll give you maybe after we move cheat. Yeah, we saw 4 games during this broadcast. Norway, France first of all, 9-3 there. And
so just to summarise this Norwegian victory, last turn in the first end. Thomas Ulsrud a draw for 3 shots. And a great start for them. In the fourth end, score now 7-0 for Norway. And with this little shot from Geoffrey Vincent, the little tap gives France 2. Somewhat relieved at that one. 7-2 the score now. And an end number 5. Thomas Ulsrud. Another chance for 2. With a draw to the forefoot. He will make it beautifully, as always. And in the sixth end, enough's enough. At 9-3, Norway win that game. And go to a 2-win, 0-loss record. And in other matches tonight, Denmark beat the Czech Republic 6-4, Sweden a 6-5 win over Switzerland, and Latvia eventually beat Finland 8-7. Scotland 7-3 winners over Russia. And 3 teams undefeated after day 1. Denmark, Norway and Sweden, the Nordics at the top. And 3 at the bottom, Finland, Czech Republic and France. On 0 and 2.
Thomas, congratulations on the win. How are you finding the playing conditions here in the Samarkand arena?
The ice is still new, so it's a bit tricky, but we're getting used to it, and we managed to get 2 wins, so we're happy. Obviously, with 2 wins, we're happy with the ice.
You obviously got off to a bit of a flying start today. How easy is it to keep your focus during a game like that?
We got a big lead early on in this game, and I mean at the end there, I think some of the guys lost their focus, but in overall, I'm happy with the way the guys are playing. So yeah, just looking good for Norway right now.
And the Olympics is obviously the big goal this season. How important is your performance at the European Championships in the context of that?
Yeah, this is, I mean, to see how this works, and we've been practicing all year, all summer for this, and this is playing in Norway in front of a home crowd. I've never done that before, so this is kind of special, you know. A lot of people here, like old curlers, you say hello to all the time, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to saying hello to old Scottish curlers, you know. But obviously now it's in Norway, so that's fun.
Well, the Scottish curlers enjoy saying hello to them too, so congratulations and good luck for the rest of the week. So that's it for us here at the Samarkand Arena here in Stavanger, Norway. Join us for more coverage tomorrow here at the Gruyère 2013 European Curling Championships. Thanks for watching.